Hello and welcome to another Elite League Season 3 cast. Starting off in this game, we've got Adila on the left hand side, going to be playing as a Farseer. On the right hand side, we're going to have Floid playing as a Hive Tyrant. In this particular one, this is a Division A game. Adila picking the Warlock, Farseer, Tech Marine, Apo and Mech Boy. Floid, I'm not actually sure what commanders he's picked. I can't actually find his pick on the forums, but imagining that he's probably got all the Tyrant commanders and the Plague Champion. I'm not sure who he would pick though for the 5th hero. Let's sign off a standard build from both players in this game. Star Avengers getting forced away as they meet some Homogons and some Banshees. Going to back away here as they meet the Hive Tyrant. These Homogons are going to be fairly well protected. Small mines are out on the field as well, so Adila will have to shoot those down before they can actually get up into the face of these Dire Avengers. One squad has now come back to mid, the other one currently in base at the moment. Farseer though should be able to provide some decent support. Will struggle in the early stages of the game against the Hive Tyrant just due to how tanky he is, and Tyranids are quite annoying in the very first bits of combat. But straight away, Farseer just going to fleet in here. The Banshees not really wanting to commit too much at the moment with these Spore Mines here. Some Homogons are going to come in as well. The Banshees are going to be forced away. Farseer though does show her strength later on in the game, especially when you can get some war gear added to her. Likely to see the Psychic Storm ability coming in with the Rune Armor in Tier 2. However, Adila will need to survive until Tier 2 in order to be able to purchase that. But Farseer going to be able to just fight some Homogons here. She does have that 360 special, so if she does get a special, it works out quite nicely for her. You know, Banshee's going to try and come in here, but Spore Mines are right on top of them. Banshees are going to try and attack the Spore Mines, try and do as much damage as possible. There is a delay when popping Spore Mines. You can't just keep popping them as frequently as you want. However, they are quite low now, but Floid just going to keep them around the backside of this building, so the Dire Avengers will need to take extra precaution when exiting the base. But already a massive amount of pressure here from Floid. Adila just currently in base at the moment. Just showing how annoying Tyranids can be in the first few engagements, but the Farseer is just going to go straight in here. She's going to try and do what she can. Dire Avengers are going to leave the base a little bit, but this Hive Tyrant, he's still very healthy on full HP. Spore Mine's going to come in, actually able to catch out one of these Dire Avenger squads here. But Floid actually getting a bit of a friendly fire here. The Hive Tyrant was poisoned, and that poison did spread to these Homogons here. They will be able to make it out alive with 2 models. We do have a Guardian Weapons team here, which is going to come out and allow the Homogons to get suppressed. Farseer using that guide ability, you can see the yellow glow on the Guardian Weapons team. Does provide an extra 30% damage and range. Incredibly useful. The Hive Tyrant will need to be careful when trying to go up into the face of the Guardian Weapons team, otherwise he will take too much damage and will die. Dire Avengers are going to be making their way back out of base. Adila desperate for some map control here. We do actually have a webway gate game placed down, but Adila only has enough red for the 1 at the moment. However, the infiltration will come in very useful for the next engagement. Floyd might already be aware of this webway gate, however, unsure if he can see it or not. Raveners are going to be coming out on the field, but no detection for Floyd as of yet. However, he can still walk on top of an invisible unit to reveal it. These Raveners coming out though in response to the Guardian Weapons team. Dire Avengers are next to the Guardian Weapons team, but the Banshees have left the area, so it's going to be unsupported. The Homogons are going to come in, but Raveners actually do get knocked back in a decent amount of time here. Guardian Weapons team taking a massive amount of damage here. The Hive Tyrant really chunking it down. No upgrades to the Hive Tyrant as of yet. Floyd with so much map control at the moment, likely to see a bit of a lighter Tier 1, maybe see some warriors out in the field. And then we'll see some upgrades on the Hive Tyrant in Tier 2 when he starts to struggle a little bit more. And no upgrades here for the Farseer at the moment. Do have a power node being taken down. Generator is now going to be the next target. Only the 1 generator for Floyd at the moment, spending a lot of requisition on these early units. Homogons are sitting here, not actually doing anything, will be forced away. You know, our Banshees and Farseer are going to come in for a bit of a flank. The Hive Tyrant can try and fight these Banshees, but with guide on the Banshees, the Hive Tyrant will just die so quickly. The Banshees, though, do have their aspect upgrades, so they will be able to suppress units, and a very nice knockback from these Raveners. Stops these Banshees from really being able to do too much. They're getting quite low and will be able to vacate the area, but very low. The Raveners having a high amount of burst when they do pop up. Farseer does get a 360 special, but coming in a little bit too late, actually knocking the units away from the Dire Avengers. Ideally, that needs to come in a little bit earlier. If it knocks some time, got models towards those Dire Avengers, they could have just picked them off. And we do see a full generator farm now completed here for Floyd. Meanwhile, Adila is still lacking in the generator side, having to reinforce most of his units. 500 VPs though to 392. Adila does have the VP advantage despite Floyd having quite dominant map control throughout this game. Avenger's going to get decapped there. Meanwhile, Homgon's just going to go off to the side here and just try and do some capturing. However, these Banshees will be able to win the engagement quite easily against these Homogons. So the Homgon's just going to back away there and we'll look for something elsewhere. Meanwhile, we do have that Warrior Brood coming out here for a Floid to give that basic synapse as well to his units. Or actually, basic synapse given by the Hive Tyrant, but to give the improved synapse, I believe. Providing some additional health and some additional melee damage. Warrior's also going to be able to detect as well, so she should be able to spot that webway gate that was placed down by Floyd, and 2 Banshee models actually getting picked off there. There's quite a lot of range damage from these Raveners and Termagons. There's some energy shields going up, and we do actually have, in fact the webway gate earlier was destroyed by the looks of it. We do have a second one though placed towards the top side of the map. And they're just kind of grouping up here along the bottom side as Floyd groups up to the top side of the map. We do actually have that Brood nest getting placed down, allowing the Termagons and other units to reinforce on the field. Also provides a small amount of healing in the area as well, but very annoying. It is very fragile, however, so a couple of grenades or Dire Avengers coming in for a flank should be able to take care of it. The Warriors now approach onto the field. Termagons are going to reinforce. Imagine Floyd is going to make his way down here. Guide uses on those Dire Avengers to provide some extra damage, and one generator will definitely go down. Banshee's going to fleece in here. They are on their own. They're going to try and take on the entire army of Floyd. Just looks like they're trying to buy as much time as possible. Floyd just kind of holds the position here. We do have the Guardian Weapons team set up, however there is a big split coming in here from Floyd. They cannot suppress all units at the same time. The Hive Tyrant is also immune to suppression, so they just retreat away before the Raveners can get any sort of knockback on them. These Dire Avengers and the Farseer are in a bit of a rough position here. Do you see them making their way towards the top side as opposed to retreating? You need to be careful as they will lose quite a few models if they were to retreat. In fact, this squad here of just 3 models may potentially go down. There's quite a lot of melee on the retreat path here. They should retreat along the top side of the map. The aspect of the Avenger upgrade has been purchased as well, so we may see some grenades get thrown down. The second Guardian Weapons team is going to be purchased here, and Farseer is going to just end up fighting. A lot of melee units will be forced to back away in the end. Raveners now will need to be careful when trying to jump into the Guardian Weapons team now that there is a second one right behind it. Termagons taking quite a bit of damage here. There's no Ravener model going down as well. There's one Guardian Weapons team at the very front. It's doing quite a lot of work at the moment. The second Ravener model not going to go down here. Floyd will be forced back to base though to heal up, and these Dire Avengers actually get knocked onto the ground. They will need to retreat away. One grenade does go down. It is going to be dodged though. And Homgon's just teleporting right on top of this Dire Avenger squad. EP advantage still going towards Adila at the moment, but in terms of resources, Floyd seems to have the advantage. Taking up to tier 2 first. Adila is not too far behind, but if he has to reinforce these Dire Avenger models, it will delay his tier 2 a little bit, so may opt to not do that. But we do actually see the models getting purchased, but he's 300 requisition in order to tech up. Coming to tier 2, Dilla likely to go for a Falcon and likely to see a Tyrant Guard coming out of Floyd here. A Tyrant Guard is going to be largely uncontested. Banshees will do quite well against it, however Banshees do also take quite a bit of damage from the Tyrant Guard as it is a anti-melee unit, or quite good against melee units. But it will be able to interrupt the Guardian Weapons team by trying to charge into combat and will be quite disruptive overall. Meanwhile, the Falcon, though, for Floyd, or for Adila rather, should be quite good. Should allow him some extra mobility on the map and will allow him to pick off some additional units, reinforce on the field, which would be quite nice. These Homogons, though, taking a lot of damage, trying to get in. They will be able to get on top of that Guardian Weapons team. Meanwhile, some Termagons going to fight these Dire Avengers. There isn't much green cover to make use of in this particular area. You can use these, like, wagons, whatever they're called. However, these Dire Avengers about to get jumped on, or... no, Raveners, sorry, went down here instead. But the Dire Avengers are still going to get jumped on. That is a nice grenade, actually wiping the Homogon squad altogether. First squad wipe of this game. All the Homogons trying to jump onto the Dire Avengers. You can always throw it at their feet. You do need to be careful when trying to pull off that maneuver though. You can sometimes kill your own models or units. So you need to time it quite well. Crippling Poison going to come onto this Farseer, locking her down into place, taking too much damage, will be forced off. Some Banshees here on the flank, but the Banshees are a little bit low on 2/3 HP. Going to take a lot of damage trying to get into meta combat here. Decide to back away. Some Gene Stealers have been purchased actually for Floyd, and we do see the Adrenal Glands upgrade coming in for the Warriors to give them some heavy melee damage, so Falcon will need to be a little bit careful. Gene Stealers using their Adrenal Rush there, just going to give them some extra movement speed. It also gives them some increased damage. They do heal on melee attacks, so as much as they are quite fragile, they will end up healing back up if they can actually get into combat quick enough. Raveners on the backline with the Hive Tyrant. There is a Guardian Weapons team inside the building, but not really having enough range. Well, it does have the range, but not really dealing enough damage from that range, rather. A grenade did go down, but does actually miss most of Floyd's army. These warriors are still on 3 models, but have taken quite a bit of damage. We actually have a decapped power gen here. The Banshees must have come in and done that on their flank. But map control on the top side of the map, just going to Floyd at the moment. Adila will need to start making his way out of the map as well. Guardian Weapons team is going to set up in a staggered position once again, but Rippers on the field. Some Dire Avengers are here, but Rippers, very small infantry ranged units, don't really deal too much damage to them. They've been changed though from tiny to small, I believe, so ranged units do some increased damage to them, but although they only have 600 HP, they are still quite tanky just due to the lack of accuracy against them, really. Adila just going to slowly push out base. Ideally wants to wait for that second Guardian Weapons team, really needs it against these Raveners. Gene Stealers are going to make their way in. These Dire Avengers take quite a lot of damage outside of any cover whatsoever. Guardian Weapons team will set up here. Raveners coming in, but going to be a little bit late to this fight. The second Guardian Weapons team has been set up, but maybe a bit too far away. Isn't going to really have the range to do anything against these Raveners should they jump in. Meanwhile, Banshee's just going to be off to the side capping. And there we go, there's the Rune Armor on the Farseer. We do see that Psychic Storm going to go down. A grenade does get thrown down. Trying to hit these Gene Stealers is going to catch out a couple of models and weakens the squad so much so that they are going to struggle to come into combat here. These Dire Avengers though getting knocked down. That could actually be a squad wipe here for Floyd. The specials from these Gene Stealers is fairly brutal. The Dire Avengers squad will go down. The second one is going to fall back. And Dilla's actually lost the Guardian Weapons team as well during that engagement. The one that was parked behind the shield has gone down. Dilla's army looking very weak in comparison to Floyd's now. Losing 2 squads in that engagement. Banshee's going to try and do what they can against this Hive Tyrant, but he's just incredibly tanky. The Banshees alone without their Exarch. In fact, they do actually have their Exarch, but still not dealing enough damage to this Hive Tyrant. Going to desperately try and go for him. Might actually get a kill here. He's so low, but the Crippling Poison comes in at the last second. And Floyd is able to walk out there with 5 HP. The Banshees now forced off. They do lose their Exarch as well. Big losses here for Adila. Guardian Weapons team is now set up. We might have a grenade potentially, but looks like Dire Avengers have already used it as they are a bit low on energy. Floyd is going to be forced off the field overall, but Adila has lost quite a bit in that engagement. He is saving up though, so we could see either tier 3 or a Falcon, but imagine a Falcon at this point. The Tyrant Guard has now been purchased here for Floyd, and Adila doesn't really have much of an answer to this Tyrant Guard. The Banshees can try and fight it, but Banshees would be best used elsewhere. A really nice Psychic Storm onto these Termagants, but that Farseer has taken a lot of damage though trying to cast that. She is going to go down. The Termagant squad is going to be able to walk away as well. Another little victory here for Floyd. 374 VPs, 194. He is lacking in VPs though. And Eldar with their mobility might just be able to come in for the win here just by sheer VPs alone. This Tyrant Guard already doing a lot of work there. That's special, doing quite a bit of damage. Banshees are going to try and go in for the Warriors, really wanting to get the Synapse Bomb to go off, but the Banshees decide to retreat away, not able to get in range of the Warriors quick enough. And there we go, the Falcon has been purchased and is on its way, but with the amount of losses in this game, it's going to be hard for the Falcon to have that much support. There is still 1 squad of Dire Avengers to provide repairs for it, but there's also quite a lot of heavy melee in this game with the Tyrant Guard and with these Warriors. Floyd going to go for a tier 3 here. Could see a Carnifex come in, or potentially even a tier 3 Lictor just to gain some extra map control. Tyrant Guard is going to come in here. The Banshees are going to try and path block it, but the Guardian Weapons team has been unset up. It's going to try and set up a little bit further back, decides to get inside the Falcon instead. A nice grenade goes down here. Able to catch out some Warrior models, dealing some decent damage to the Tyrant Guard as well, and Guardian Weapons team will now vacate from the Falcon and reset up. Raveners are not in the area at the moment, so Floyd is forced to back away for now. The Hive Tyrant is going to come in to actually have the Venom Cannon upgrade coming in as well, as a reaction to the Falcon on the field. Termagants trying to do what they can. And on the bomb side, actually, the Raveners are here, so they can be ready for a flank. Guardian Weapons team has been set up once again. The Tyrant Guard entering that shield wall formation, wanting to heal up for the next engagement. Banshee's just leaping around there. The aspects of fleetness does provide the ability to jump over certain covers, so that's why you see them jumping around so much more. But the Raveners are going to back away here, taking a defensive burrow. Banshee's trying to do what they can to provide some support to this Guardian Weapons team. We do actually have some Rippers coming in, which are going to lead the engagement here. They should be able to force an unset up here. We'll be able to come in, and straight away the Gene Stealers and Warriors are making their way to the front. Banshee's going to come in to try and deal with the Rippers, but these Banshees are taking a lot of range damage here from these Termagants, and with the melee coming in, the Banshees will need to back away. Warriors do leap in, the Banshees do use their screams to suppress the units and will back away. Falcon is going to be forced all the way back into base, and Floyd is just going to try and put some more pressure onto this generator farm. Farseer still not been repurchased here for Adila, but still hanging in there, still does have that VP advantage. Still in control of that top VP, in control of this bottom VP shortly as well. Just making use of the webway gates to try and gain as much map control as possible, while Floyd tries to remain fairly grouped up and try and keep the rest of the forces locked into base. At this point, Adila may as well sacrifice power. It does have 180 power saved up here, so there's not much point trying to contest Floyd's army if it tries to go for the power. Adila stays into tier 2 and will just carry on buying tier 2 units. 180 power should be enough to last for most of this game, with the passive income just from having the power node captured. Raveners are going to make their way towards the bottom side of the map. These Dire Avengers, if they get behind some cover, they should be able to win this engagement here. They do have the Exarch leading them, they do have grenades as well, ready to use. They will come in here. Rogue Tower does get placed down, some Banshees going to exit as well. Raveners going to be in a bit of trouble here. Don't think the Banshees don't have enough damage to finish them off though. Surprisingly only getting the one model there, but the Banshees might be able to pick up a second one. There's a bit of a awkward position here for Adila. Tyrant Guard is going to come in, units will need to exit inside the webway gate if possible, rather than trying to retreat away, otherwise it's going to go down. This Guardian Weapons team is likely to go down here. The Tyrant Guard on retreat, Warriors and Gene Stealers are also on retreat here. The Banshee is going to lose a few models. Exarch is able to make it out alive, but a couple of models do fall. And Dire Avengers looks like they're still in the field here. Going to try and do what they can against this Tyrant Guard, but going to be heavily outmatched. And it's actually going to be tier 3 for Adila, spending the majority of that power there, as opposed to buying some more units in tier 2. 316 VP, so 136. Adila is still whistling away there. Floyd's VP count. Floyd will need to make more of an effort there to try and gain some VPs. He is in control of quite a bit of the map and is forcing off Adila's army a lot, but is just lacking on the VP side of things at the moment. Going to be the energy shield upgrade for this Falcon, a very interesting choice here. The Falcon is really difficult to kill with that energy shield, so this Falcon should be able to do quite well though. No Khan effects on the field yet. Floyd still saving up for that. But this Falcon in need of some repairs. Dire Avengers will need to kind of sit on top of that Falcon just to provide some support to it. Depending on how much work the Falcon can do this game, and with the mobility it provides, Adila may be able to win here just through sheer VPs alone. It is a triple cap against him currently though, so we'll see what can be done. Rippers are going to come in here. Rippers do slow vehicles each time they take, or each time they are able to attack it. Banshees are going to come in though to stop this Hive. Tyrant does actually have the shield as well, allowing him to actually use his energy for something. We do have just the improved synapse as well, just to provide some additional support to his army. Hive Tyrant just gets to be incredibly annoying. It's very tanky at 1,366 HP and able to deal some decent range damage with that Venom Cannon. The Falcon is going to need to be very careful. A lot of the map now, the entire center of the map in fact, actually going to Floyd. Adila is just repairing up here. Does have 340 red and looks like it might be saving up for a Seer Council. The Farseer does have the ability to call in a Seer Council instantly, costing only 500 requisition and no power. A Seer Council here is going to be fairly brutal actually. It's actually going to be the tier 3 Lictor here for Floyd as well to try and gain some additional map control. It does have heavy melee unlike the regular Lictor Alpha Commander, so it can be useful for trying to take out vehicles, although the Falcon with its energy shield is going to be a bit too tanky for it to handle properly. And it is going to be that Seer Council. They're now out of the field, going straight for this Warrior Brood here. Seer Council dealing about 40 power melee damage per model, 200 power melee in total. The Warrior Brood will need to be careful, they are a melee superiority unit, but Gene Stealers do heal on attack, so Seer Council actually getting forced off there. Got knocked away from the Warriors. And going to be down to just 5 models. Seer Council not having quite the impact I thought they would in the very first engagement. Falcon though is going to come in, should try and focus down these Warriors, try and get them off the field, try and also knock back the Gene Stealers when they die. Lictor gonna jump on out of there. The Banshees are still chasing, but the crippling poison from these Temgods comes in, forcing the Banshees into retreat. Lictor doesn't have enough energy for a flesh hook, I believe. Seer Council jumping on, but these Gene Stealers are just healing up so much on each attack, and these Warriors are still on 3 models despite being on low health. You see some models going down now, and the Falcon is coming in here, but the Falcon's taking a lot of damage from this Venom Cannon. Does back away here, but the Gene Stealers are just destroying everything in this fight. Really nice grenade though, but comes in maybe a little bit too late. Falcon does go down. Seer Council are quite low, 140 to 119. Adila still holds the VP advantage, but the Falcon loss is quite large. Seer Council going to be in base, healing up for quite some time. Adila's income is just so low at the moment, just not in control of much of the map. He's going to be able to get a snipe here on the Lictor, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to win this game. In fact, he may not even get the Lictor. He's on 7 HP. The Banshee's Shuriken Pistols may be enough. He's actually going to die to a ranged attack there from the Banshees. But even still, Floyd's army is massive in comparison. A Carnifex is out in the field as well, a Thornback variant. Seer Council are really going to struggle with a Thornback Carnifex right in their faces at this moment. The Banshees will be able to get away with their Exarch, and they're trying to make use of these webway gates as much as possible, but Gene Stealers and Raveners are blocking this bottom one. There's only one at the very top. Adila, by the looks of it, can only stop the bleed of VPs at this point. Going to try and remain in the game just due to how low the VPs are though for Floyd. Termagant's going to try and do what they can, but this Tyrant Guard should be okay fighting them though. Seer Council now down to just 2 out of 5 members, and Adila is going to struggle to reinforce them, or keep reinforcing them at this rate. Dire Avengers taking quite a lot of damage, and Banshees coming out only on 4 models though. They're trying to fleet in, trying to do what they can. Adila getting very desperate in this game, 41 VPs to 119. This is a best of 3 series, and looks like game number 1 is going to go to Floyd. And Adila does end up conceding the game. Game 1 going to Floyd. We'll be jumping into game 2 in just a moment. Into game number 2, Adila is going to be switching up from a Farseer to a Tech Marine. As mentioned in the previous Elite League cast, you do have to swap commanders every game, so you can't just stick to a single commander throughout an entire series. Which is the reason why you pick 5 commanders as opposed to 3 in a normal tournament. Floyd then having to switch from the Hive Tyrant to the Lictor Alpha. I believe he's also got the Ravener Alpha as one of his picks, but as mentioned as well, for some reason I can't actually see what 5 commanders he has picked, but knowing Floyd and knowing how much he plays Tyranids, it's got to be all the Tyranid commanders, surely. First time for me seeing this map actually, so it'd be quite interesting to see how things go. Notice the massive hole here in the center of the map. I'm assuming nothing can actually get down there. I wonder if ASM can actually jump down there. But so far, just going to be fairly standard in this game. No Spore Mines for Floyd. Spore Mines not really most effective against Space Marines in this particular setting, just due to there being no melee units for them. Even if it was a Force Commander, Spore Mines aren't going to do too much there against a particular commander. Best suited against squads which have lots of models, and they can easily get into the face of. So they're coming in quite hard here on the right hand side here. Tech Marine going to be on that left hand side capping, so Lictor is just going to come in here, going to be able to get on top of one of these scout models potentially, or might go for the CSM here. Lictor is just kind of sitting idle. Some home guns do come in for a flank. These guns though taking quite a lot of damage, just trying to buy some time here. Does force a retreat, might be able to get a model here. That lead model is taking a lot of damage. If Flesh Hook goes down, should be able to snipe that model. It's going to go down there in that engagement. Squad itself taking a lot of damage on retreat as well from the Homogons, just picking away at all the models, so decent amount of XP given to the Lictor Alpha. and very annoying in the very first engagement when you do lose one of those models. They are quite expensive, costing about 80 requisition each, I believe. 75 requisition, sorry. Definitely don't want to lose them too early on. Going to be coming back out of base. Meanwhile, Tech Marine is just kind of on his own, just capping up stuff. Going to have that 2-to-1 VP cap. Going to go straight for the generator farm by the looks of things. Meanwhile, some Hom Guns going to... Needs to be a bit careful here. There's a lot of range of damage here. 2 scouts behind some yellow cover and the tactical marines doing quite a bit of damage here. Scouts dealing about half this damage of what a tactical marine squad deals, so with 2 of them on the field, it's like having 2 tactical marine squads in terms of damage output. Lictor just going to be very annoying, just going to go around and cap the map. We do actually have a tech marine coming in here. It's going to get a little bit caught out. No Bionics upgrade yet, so can't knock away these Hom Guns, so just forced to carry on moving away. The tech marine himself, though, dealing incredible amount of damage. I believe it deals about 33 DPS. Very effective at picking away models. Floid is going to make use of the green cover here. The Lictor Alpha going to come in for a flank, but these Hom Guns are already so low coming into combat, so not going to be able to do too much. A nice special there from the Lictor. It'd be quite funny though if the Tech Marine did actually fall down that hole. The special would have definitely knocked him down there had this not been an actual game and limited in certain ways. But another special though for this Lictor. Flesh Hook is not available due to the lack of energy, but still though, the amount of damage he's dealing with just his default weapon is quite a lot. Ravener's already hitting the field as well. Adila going to be forced off altogether, and Floid in control of quite a decent chunk of the map here. So in control of this natural requisition point. This one though, so far untouched, but is a very awkward spot to get to. Don't necessarily always want to have your units down there on the other side of the map. Sometimes want them in combat instead. That power node definitely going to go down here, and Lictor's just going to make his way to the left-hand side. Does use the infiltration though, so it will be low on energy, so won't have that flesh hook available once again. ASM is going to be popping out on the field for Adila. No upgrades on the scouts as of yet, but may even see the shotgun blast upgrade, maybe see a fully upgraded scout squad just to provide some detection against the Lictor Alpha. The Sergeant is able to detect. The only issue is when you do get a Sergeant, because he is the last model to die, the Lictor Alpha will tend to just pull in the Sergeant, and then all units will focus down the Sergeant, and then the other squad models will die, so it's quite easy to wipe a scout squad if you're not paying attention. These ASMs though jumped in on their lonesome, but taking a lot of damage trying to do so. Do avoid retreating away to avoid losing any models. They are going to go back into combat once again, but these Hom Guns are still fairly healthy. A special comes in, preventing them from losing any models on retreats. Tactical Marines though should be healthy enough to fight these Hom Guns, but Warriors are going to come in. Warriors will knock back upon jumping in. One model did go down in that engagement, and Floyd's army is just looking very scary at the moment. Tech Marine is not behind the green cover at the moment, but will go behind some now. And there is that Sergeant. Warriors though just going to jump into combat. Could see a grenade get thrown down here, but Warriors are going to knock down those scouts. And meanwhile, Power Bash is going to happen at the same time. Space Marines do struggle against Tyranids in the early stages of the game. It does take a few engagements and a bit of time for them to kind of build up a decent amount of forces before they can start fighting back and really pushing back against the Tyranid army. So at the moment what we're seeing is fairly standard for most Tyranid versus Space Marine matchups. ASMs are going to come in. There is not really much in terms of melee here. Temblon can make use of the crippling poison ability to lock down these ASM, but we do see the Raveners just going to get on top here on the back line. Going to go for those tactical marines, taking down another model. The ASM just jumping all the way across onto these Raveners. Should be able to get one model here. This one on the end is probably a bit low, but are going to be dodged overall. Meanwhile, a grenade was thrown down here. Looks like it took down some Temgon models here, or some Hom Gun models rather, but scouts overall still being forced away. No shotguns as of yet. Shotgun blast can come in quite handy, but you generally have to pick between the shotgun blast and the grenade until your scouts do level up a bit.
Ready to serve, brother.
Scouts though still level 1 at the moment. Every time you do level up with one of your squads, it does gain an extra 15 energy. And the shotgun blast, I believe, is 60 energy, and the same with the grenades, so you do need to be level 3 if you want to cast them both kind of at the same time. But even being just level 2 is a massive difference, as you only have to wait for 5 energy to regen, as opposed to waiting for 20. Tech Marine though should be able to pick off one of these Warrior Brood models. Unfortunately, all models so low at the moment, but we'll all get away though. Techmarine just so good at picking off models. The amount of damage that he deals, incredibly nice. Did he level 2 already? Meanwhile, Lictor Alpha is still only halfway though. Could see a Fleshhook onto the Sergeant here. That one scout squad running in a bit aggressively. That could be a dead squad. Lictor is going for it. Fleshhook is not needed. Fleshhook, in fact, is not actually ready. In fact, does not have enough energy for it. Lictor is taking quite a lot of damage. Ravner is going to come in here onto these other scouts. Losing that scout squad is a bit of a big deal here for Adila. Needed that side unit to go around and just capture bits of the map. Do have a drop pod in retaliation against the land right on top of these Termagants. Going to be able to knock a few away. Drop pod does provide some green covers to these tactical marines, so you can see kind of just going behind this like little ramp bit, which does provide some cover, so you can actually hold a position for a bit longer. However, that lead model, maybe not quite behind green cover, is going to take quite a bit of damage there. The second squad is going to come in for a bit of assistance, and Techmarine is going to come in for a flank. A load of models are going down. That one squad of Termagants getting very low there for Floid, but should be able to make it out there safely. Adila does have enough power to tech up to tier 2, however lacking in requisition because of that drop pod. Techmarine is going to get pulled in. Termagants and Warriors are just going to jump in, but the Bionics coming in for the Techmarine does knock all the units away. Techmarine is just going to fall back to a different position and should be able to resume firing at range. Kraken rounds are not being used on these tactical marines. Kraken rounds should get used against these Warriors. They are heavy infantry, and there we go, they see it activated, the red bullets coming in. The Kraken rounds are more effective against heavy infantry, which is the armor type of these Warriors, and a Flamer is being purchased on these tactical marines, so likely to see a power bash coming in here. That Lictor should go down to these ASMs on retreat. Going to get cut in the back there with that chain sword. Floyd going to carry on the push. Or in fact, sorry, Adila going to carry on the push here. Does have the Flamers ready. ASM might need to fall back a little bit, but these Flamers should make short work of this generator farm. Some Homgons also here, and the Ravners are ready for a fight. ASM do get forced off. 2 generators have gone down. But I'm not sure if Adila can carry on this push anymore without these ASMs. Taking a lot of damage coming in here. A really nice grenade though. Wow. Maybe wiping this Homgon squad altogether. Does lose a few tactical marines, and the push is now over, but that grenade coming so close, down to just one model. Had that one model been positioned a bit differently, that could have been a squad wipe for Adila. Tier 2 though, some Gene Stealers once again as Floyd's first Tier 2 purchase. 351 VPs, 357. The VP count in this game is incredibly close thus far. Rippers make their way out on the field, going to avoid Techmarine. In fact, going to go for the Techmarine. Violence does get used, does deal with some damage to the units in the area, but only about 20 melee damage, I believe. Or in fact, 45 melee damage, more than I thought. With Tier 2 approaching for Adila, could see some upgrades, or some further upgrades on Techmarine. Could try and go for a melee Techmarine, but unlikely to see one of those. Sergeant has already been queued up for these ASM, does give him a much better fighting power. Sergeant is equipped with Power Sword, making him much more effective against the Warriors on the field. But also having the additional tankiness of an extra model is also very useful. Some more Rippers are going to come out, just buying some time. Not really dealing much damage at all, but just going to be very annoying nonetheless. Could even see a Razorback coming in here for Adila. Razorback should be quite effective against all the infantry on the field. Some Gene Stealers though are ready for a flank. Scouts are going to see these Gene Stealers coming in, and the Techmarine is nearby with the Bionics ready. The Warriors are also coming in for this flank as well. The ASM are going to get onto the backline of Floyd, and Tactical Marines are just advancing forward, trying to get as close to these ASM as possible. These Raveners may go down altogether. That was just 49 HP. The Shotgun Blast is already used. Warriors are going to come in for a bit of combat. These Scouts are going to go down. Bionics is on cooldown at the moment. ASM though are struggling in this engagement here against these Gene Stealers. They're just healing up so much, but they are going to get forced off in the end, and they should be able to win against these Warriors. They're not upgraded with the Adrenal Glands upgrade, so don't have that additional tankiness required to take on the ASM when they've got a Sergeant with them. Adila though, lacking in Scouts, so can still repair vehicles should he choose to get one. Techmarine being one of the commanders that does have the ability to repair vehicles, but amount of power stored up. Could even see a Dreadnought come out hit for him shortly, but we'll see what he decides to go for. Tactical Marines just going to try and hold this position, just try and buy as much time as possible. Looks like Adila will back away, and these Tactical Marines are going to go in for the VP instead. Tactical Marines are one of the units in the game that does have a faster decap, so makes them a very effective capping unit. If it went for their such high cost and lack of mobility compared to other units, they would actually be a very good capping unit. ASM's just back at base, healing up, and these Flame Tactical Marines going to potentially make their way to this left-hand side. Should be able to win an engagement against these Homogons, although maybe not the most cost-efficient if they do lose a model or two. Tactical Marine, though, on his own, trying to hold the area for as long as possible. We'll use those Bionics and we'll just get out of there. And Dreadnought is now on the way out. Adila does have a lot of red stored up, so likely this Dreadnought is going to receive a lot of repairs from the Tech Marines Global, the Omnizire's Blessing. So should be able to keep fairly healthy. There's not any AV on the field, but the Lictor does have the ability to cool down a Venom Brood, so likely to see that as a response when the Dreadnought is visible. Warriors, though, with their adrenal glands, should be able to also tie up the Dreadnought. And if the Dreadnought decides to go for an assault cannon, the Warriors will be even more effective against it, since it will lose its melee resistance. Tech Marine, you can even see a Plasma Gun coming in here for Tier 2 as a response to the Venom Brood. Plasma Gun is incredibly effective against heavy infantry. It does also have the full auto ability, or I can't remember what it's actually called. I know it's not called full auto, but it does allow him to fire. I think it's called rapid fire potentially. But does allow him to burst down Warriors and Venom Brood quite effectively. Tech Marine trying to base out these melee units. The Dreadnought is coming in here. No upgrades for him though at the moment, so likely to stay melee for now. However, the assault cannon is always effective, always a nice choice, but much easier though for Tyranids to kill and get on top of. A really nice knockback here from these ASM, buying some time for the Dreadnought to come in here. Going to be a few models going down here, but the Dreadnought not able to catch up in time. Meanwhile, Tactical Marines here getting tied up by some Rippers. Do have a Sergeant leading them to provide them some additional melee combat stats. Can't remember how I was going to finish off that sentence, but Dreadnought is going to take down some Homogon models and is going to provide some assistance to these Tactical Marines. The Lictor did actually cancel the Scything Talons upgrade that it was looking at earlier. Scything Talons, though, would increase the amount of damage that the Lictor Alpha does by quite a lot, and also giving it the ability of Scythe, allowing it to special any squad, knocking them all on their feet. And the Venom Brood has already been called in here. Is a little bit outside of the combat zone, but is still fairly close by. Tech Marine, though, picking off some Gene Stealer models. Could even see the Mastercrafted Bolt to get purchased just to suppress these Gene Stealers before they get into combat. And they shall know no fear, getting used on these Tactical Space Marines, allowing them to special in melee combat, but are going to be forced off overall. The Bionics getting used against these Warrior Brood, and Gene Stealers are healing up quite a bit. Meanwhile, the ASM and Dreadnought look like they're going to make their way back into combat. If you have the second Tactical Marine squad ready to go. Tactical Marines taking a lot of damage. The ASM will need to jump in to provide some protection to them. ASMs are going to jump in, but are still a little bit far away. They're actually going to jump onto the ranged units here. It looks like the Dreadnought is going to be the one that provides support to these Tactical Marines, so the Tactical Marines will need to really run towards this Dreadnought if they want to remain relative in this engagement. Raveners are taking an immense amount of damage. May even go down. The ASM have got a surround on it. Fleshhook does come in, and he's going to knock that one model. That would have been in range to finish it off, and the ASM is now so close to base, they're actually taking fire here. Dreadnought is in a bit of a pinch at the moment. The Venom Brood are so close to base, they can actually turn around and start focusing it down. Floid has got his entire army at base at the moment. Do actually have another drop pod coming in. Tyrant Guard is also going to come out and just provide some bulk to Floyd's army. Cracking round's going to come in. Could even see the Plasma Gun upgrade on these Tactical Marines as well, just to help fight off the Venom Brood and deal a lot of damage to these Warriors, just forcing a Synapse knockback here. Dreadnought in some desperate need of repairs. Adila, has used a global already, so I believe it's on cooldown still. But it's going to heal up with the Tech Marine. And it's just going to hold position here with these two VPs on the side, very close together, so very easy to bleed Tyranids of those points. Meanwhile, Flame and Tactical Marine is going to be the side capping unit of choice here for Adila. Doesn't have any scouts, so this is going to be the next best thing. Very effective against Homogon's hit. Homogon's actually trying to ignore them as best as possible. These Tactical Marines should be able to get a capture here, and it should be a triple cap for Adila if he's able to hold this position. Dreadnought is on 1000 HP already, nearly level 2 as well, so he's in a fairly comfortable position at the moment. Now level 2, 1300 HP with his maximum health. Just going to slam its fist into these Rippers. And there you go, the Synapse knockback coming in against these Warriors. Going to be forced out the engagement down to just one model. Plasma gun has been purchased for this Tech Marine. Dreadnought is going to try and provide some protection here. These G-Stealers gain ground pounded. In fact, the squad may go down, but Dreadnought is getting half blocked at the moment. The G-Stealers will be able to escape with a small amount of HP. Tyrant Guard taking a lot of damage. The Plasma Gun is also very effective against it as well. And the Venom Brood taking the amount of damage here from Space Marines is just high. Lictor Alpha, still no upgrades yet, but still remaining very healthy in this engagement. Raveners are going to come in. Adila will be forced off the field overall, but I believe Adila done some pretty great damage here. Able to kill some Warrior models, some Venom Brood models, and Tyrant Guard is also getting a little bit low. It's going to have to spend a lot of time in its shield wall formation healing up at the moment. Meanwhile, he's in control of this right-hand VP as well. Tactical Marines just holding the area. Some more Rippers getting made. Going to try and deal some damage against these Tacticals here. Tacticals will easily dispose of them though. ASM back in the fight. Once again, the Sergeant is currently dead at the moment, but he's ASM level 3. Going to be very tanky in this next engagement. Do need a Sergeant replaced though on the squad, but Adila lacking the resources to do so at this time. You know, Tactical's going to get forced off here by this little melee superiority squad here of just Warriors and Gene Sealers. Unable to get any models though, so Adila will walk away and should be able to come back onto the other side fairly soon. Adila still too poor to afford that Sergeant at the moment. They will just jump in Raveners on their own. This Tyrant Guard also by itself. We do actually have the Plasma Gun upgrade here for one of the Tactical Marine squads, making it more effective against this Tyrant Guard. ASMs do have enough energy to jump, will need to jump out there, but just still going for that VP. Are going to get knocked away though by these Warriors. These Warriors though just knocking them everywhere. In fact, the ASM squad is just going to go down. They're just on their feet constantly. They're not jumping out of combat in time. Looks like Adila is spending a bit too much time focusing on this Tyrant Guard. The ASM do walk out there just about with one model. Tyrant Guard is also able to escape, and the Dreadnought is just going to carry on charging in. Going to try and get some revenge there for the fallen models. A lot of plasma damage on the field here for Adila, so these Warriors are going to have to sit back and let the G-Stealers tank as much as possible, but ground pound goes down, knocking all melee squads on their feet. Venom Brood are ready for a fight though. Tech Marine sits next to that Dreadnought, trying to get some repairs in. Now 2 Plasma Gun upgrades here for these Tactical Marines, and the Tech Marine himself with the Plasma Gun. The Dreadnought is taking a lot of damage and is forced to back away. Tactical Marines though do need to start focusing down this Venom Brood instead, just to allow the Dreadnought to get in there. Look at the amount of damage coming in per shot though. Tactical Marines, a National No Fear Gate used once again. But Lictor is going to start tying up some of these models. Do have the Siphoning Talons upgrade coming in once again for Floid, so should see him finish it this time. Yonder's Eye's Blessing getting used to repair the Dreadnought on the field without any repair units. But the Dreadnought is still not jumping into combat just yet. These Tacticals are taking a lot of damage here. May actually go down if the Lictor is able to complete the upgrade. Should be able to deal enough damage, but the Dreadnought is just going to knock him back. And will provide some time for these Tacticals to run away. But the Venom Brood are here on the field, and they should be able to chase down this Dreadnought. Tier 3 coming in for Floid, 227 VPs to 88. Things are looking a little bit grim here. Adila with a triple cap has even wiped out the Homogon squad that was on the right-hand side capping. Dreadnought though is going to go down. Some scouts are being repurchased here for Adila, and with the VPs being this low though for Floid, Adila should have the game in the bag. His army is still strong even without the Dreadnought on the field. These ASM though still in need of a Sergeant.
We shall make it so.
He's getting a Sergeant at the moment now though. But with the amount of plasma damage on the field, Floyd's Venom Brood and Warriors are just really struggling to do too much. The Tyrant Guard even getting forced off the field a lot of the time just because it is super heavy infantry, so it does also take additional damage from plasma weapons. And that's Sergeant taking a lot of damage there. I believe that's the Sergeant at the back there with the power sword. Just refusing to jump when all of his squad mates did. Tech Marine using the rapid fire ability, and this Tyrant Guard is already just taking so much damage, just trying to get close to these Tactical Marines. The other Tactical Marines so are coming in, and they're equipped with a Plasma Gun as well. ASM Sergeant is equipped with a Power Sword, but you still don't really want them to fight Tyrant Guard. ASM are going to jump in and path block the Tyrant Guard though, but ASMs are still quite low at the moment. Tyrant Guard is going to enter its shield wall formation, or should enter its shield wall formation, but the surround formation comes in. That one Tactical Marine is just gone. He is dead at the moment. The squad is alive though, just barely. That surround formation though, just winning the engagement fairly convincingly though for Floid. There is one Tactical Marine squad still in the field, but Floid on a 2-to-1 cap though does hold position. There's one Tactical Marine squad is not going to be enough to win the engagement. A drop pod comes in. There are some more Tactical Marines on the field. We have 4 squads of Tactical Marines here, and with that it actually might turn the tide here for Adila. There's only Termagants remaining in this engagement, and that Flamer will make short work of them. So Adila's still going to be on that 2-to-1 cap here. Tier 3 Lictor is going to get purchased here for Floid. Glory Towers are going to get burnt down here, but Tech Marine is currently dead on the ground, and Adila does not have the resources to repurchase him. As much as Adila does have a lot of red at the moment, he is still tier 2, so can't really make use of a lot of the globals at the moment. Tactical Marines though are going to go down. A very nice catch there for Floid. ASMs are going to jump past. Adila is going to throw everything into VPs to try and bleed Floid down as quickly as possible. Lictor coming in there with Siphon Talons knocks away these Tactical Marines. Nothing can actually prevent him from getting a decap on this VP at the moment. It's going to be a 1-to-1 cap here. Gene Stealers on the back line going to get a cap there. And ASM going to try and do what they can, but it looks like it's going to be a 2-to-1 cap here for Floid, so he looks like he may just about hold position. Lictor trying to do what they can. Tactical Marines are going to fight to their very last breath at the moment, trying to do what they can against these Raveners, but that Lictor with the Siphon Talons is just dealing an immense amount of damage, dealing about 80 power melee damage. Going to be so effective, even pulling Tactical Marines from the other engagement. Lictor out for now, level 5. The VPs are still ticking down for Floid, but it doesn't actually secure this upper VP, neutralizing the score. Tactical Marines are on top of the VP, but the Siphon Talons does have a short cooldown. Is going to get used once again, knocking the Tactical Marines away, and you see Floid just taps onto the VP just for a second. Even if you have started capturing it, you can just instantly cancel the countdown there just by sending your units to it after knocking the enemy units away. Tactical Marines are desperately trying to do what they can, but they are going to get the VP down to 16 VPs. Floid is desperate to hold on, and They Shall Know No Fear does give you specials on every attack with your Tactical Marines knocking back melee units constantly, but they still don't really deal a lot of damage in combat. The Raveners are going to prevent them from getting that attack that they need, and Floid has just thrown everything on top of the VP. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, ASMs are trying to stop the Warrior Brood from getting the cap. They are still in control of this top VP, 192 to 6 VPs. Tactical Marines unsuccessful in holding to this position. Adila is just down to 2 squads at the moment. If he loses this Tactical Marine squad, it's going to be game. He won't have enough units to go around the map and capture VPs. The Sergeant falls down on the squad. Termagants trying to do what they can. Tactical Marines going straight in for a decap. The Raveners may have enough for a jump here, but Gene Stealers are going to come in and will make short work of them in melee combat. Now a 1-to-1 cap. I don't think Adila's got enough steam to keep on going in this game. It looks like Floid is just going to barely hang on. Tactical Marine squad is going to fall, and it's going to be down to just an ASM squad to try and get a 2-to-1 VP cap, even if it is only for a short bit. Ravener model is going to fall. There are so many Tactical Marines reinforcing from this drop pod, but the Gene Stealers will make short work of every model that pops out of there. It's going to be a capture for Floid. Gains special, preventing the Tacticals from even getting a decap there in the end. 183 VPs to 6. There are more Tactical Marines still appearing. The squad is eventually going to go down here. Does end up in retreats. And it looks like Adila may have lost this game at this point. ASM are forced off the field as well. It's going to be a triple cap here for Floid in just a moment. I don't think the ASMs can compete with the tier 3 Lictor and the Venom Brood even, especially without their Sergeant. But even then, Floid just needs to hold on to these 2 VPs on the left-hand side, and the game is his. There's so much red for Adila right now, 999, due to the amount of units just lost throughout this game. Adila, though, still in the game. Floid is on 6 squads, though. And is just going to remain grouped up onto the VPs, leaving some Termagants on this bottom VP as well. Tier 3 Lictor doesn't actually require any energy to infiltrate, although this is the regular Lictor Alpha Commander, not the Tier 3 one. You can see there's an infiltrator, and this little melee superiority army here of Floid should make short work of these ASM, forces Adila into a retreat. And without any units to go to that right-hand side, I think Adila's just going to bleed out of VPs very quickly here. There's a triple cap against him, and only 110 VPs remaining. Adila does have some resources stored up, so we could see another Dreadnought get purchased. Tech Marine is going to be the one to be repurchased, and the thing is, Adila needs to focus on this left-hand side because that's where the VPs are positioned. Do see a Refractor Shield coming out for the Tech Marine to provide them some additional bulkiness. ASMs could still do with a Sergeant as well. 62 VPs, the VPs are ticking down quickly here for Adila. And Floid with a good position here. I believe should be able to hold, especially with Rippers coming out, should be able to tie up the Tech Marine while the melee units just fights the ASM. Tier 3 Lictor infiltrated here though. Should be able to fight these Tactical Marines fairly easily. The ASMs are going to go into the engagement here, and everything is going to jump in for that Tech Marine. Poundix gets used the same time as the jump. However, the Scything Talons though comes in, knocks all units away from the VP. These ASM are taking a lot of damage, jumping into combat once again just to get the knockback onto the units. Gain a lucky staggered knockback there. But there's just so much damage, and the VPs are down to just 3 for Adila. I don't think he's got enough to get the cap there. The units on the right hand side are going to be unsuccessful in capping in time. It's actually going to go 2-0 series to Floid. Going to beat Adila in the group stages here. However, again, Adila's not out of the tournament just because he's lost in the group stages. You do fight every player, so you have to essentially win more games than everyone else to qualify for the final tournament. I'll be casting some more of these games shortly. Thank you guys.